Well, hello and welcome to our channel. It's very good to have you here. In today's video, we're going to have a look at how to inspect your alternator rotor. The alternator rotor is basically, it is a rotating magnet. So we have a coil in here, and when this coil is energized, when current is flowing through this coil, these two iron bars, they will become magnetic. One will become a south pole and the other will become a north pole, depending on the direction of current flow. Then, when the engine is started, this will start to rotate with the crankshaft. It will be rotated by the crankshaft and it will start generating a rotating magnetic field, and that will induce voltage onto the alternator stator winding. Now, inspection of the rotor can be done with a digital multimeter. All you have to do is check the condition of the coil. The coil, it has to be continuous and it has to be insulated from the body of the rotor, or it has to be insulated from the shaft ends, from the magnetic poles. Two ends of this coil, they will come out through here, and one is soldered to one slip ring, and similarly on the other side, the other end of the coil will come out and it will get connected to the other slip ring. So these two slip rings are ends of the coil, and when brakes are riding on here, they will provide electricity to the coil. Now, in order to figure out if the coil is functional or not, all you have to do is measure resistance. That's it. Place your multimeter on ohms value and then go ahead and measure resistance onto the slip ring, resistance on the slip ring. If it reaches some resistance value, then you can take that value and compare it to the specification for your particular alternator. If it is between 2 and 6 ohm, we usually consider it nice. Let's go ahead and measure resistance value of this, for example. Make sure it is clean. If it is not clean, if the surface is not clean, you can always take a sandpaper and clean. Make sure that the slip ring is clean so that you can have a correct reading. If it is not clean, you can always take a fine sandpaper and clean the surface of the slip ring. Let's go ahead and have the reading of this slip ring, for example. See, it is reading 4.9, 4.8 ohms. When it comes to resistance reading, always take the smallest value, 4.7 ohm. So this is the resistance of the rotor winding for this particular rotor. And then go ahead and check if there is any continuity between the slip ring and the body of the rotor. There should be no continuity whatsoever. It should not be touching any of the body part. Otherwise, if it is touching, it is grounding. So it should be insulated from this. You can go ahead and use the beeping test of the multimeter. You can also use this continuity test function in order to figure out if it is working or not. There should be no continuity between the slip ring and the shaft, so there is no beeping, as you can hear. No beeping, no beeping. But when it comes to the two slip rings, there should be beeping. This indicates that the coil is continuous. But in order to figure out the exact value, you can always go ahead and select the resistance value. You can go ahead and do all similar tests for other rotors as well, even though the shape and style of the rotor is slightly different, but the principle of testing is always the same. For example, by the continuity, place one multimeter on the slip ring and place the other on body. There should be no continuity. When you touch this, if there is continuity, if it is beeping, it indicates the coil is not insulated. It is shorted or grounded to the body. If it is not beeping, it indicates it is good. It is not shorted out, or it is not grounded to the body. It is insulated. And go ahead and measure continuity between the two slip rings. It is continuous. And in order to find out the exact resistance value, you can go ahead and measure resistance between the two slip rings as well. 2.7, 2.8 ohm. So if it is between 2 and 6 ohm, as I've mentioned earlier, we consider it to be nice. So this is basically how you do test on the rotor of the alternator. As you can see, this rotor, it has fan blades on the magnetic poles, attached to the magnetic poles. If your rotor has this type of fan blade, It means these rotors are usually designed to operate at extremely high speed. High speed operating rotors, they will have their fan installed internally, and majority of them have a fan installed externally. This one is with a high speed operation. The principle of operation is always the same. We have the electrical connections coming to the slip ring, and both ends are connected to the coil. As it is rotating, it will generate a varying magnetic field, and that varying magnetic field will induce voltage onto the stator winding of your alternator, and basically that is the duty of the rotor. So this is how you can check if the rotor is functional or not. When measuring resistance between the slip rings, if you find infinity, if there is no continuity between the two slip rings, it indicates that the rotor winding is disconnected and it has an open circuit. It could be caused by wire interrupting current flow, or it could be caused by a broken wire somewhere in the system. So infinity reading indicates a disconnected circuit, open circuit, or a broken winding. If you read a resistance value close to 0, that indicates a shorted circuit. If the insulation of the coil fails and coils are touching each other, that will cause a short circuit, and that will be registered as a very low resistance value. So if you find out that the resistance value between the two slip rings is close to 0 value, then that indicates the rotor winding is shorted out and it has to be replaced. Open circuit and short circuit indicate either the rotor has to be replaced or it might require rewinding of the rotor winding. So when doing an inspection, always don't forget to inspect the condition of the bearings as well. They will get wear out. If they wear out, it will cause a screaming noise when engine is started. So once it is removed from the alternator, just make sure that you check the condition of the bearing as well. When you rotate them, there should not be abnormal noise generated. There should not be. It should have a regular rotating noise. When spinning it, you should feel a regular rotating noise, and when you rock it like this, there should not be any significant movement. If there is significant movement between the outer and the lower, that indicates the ball race is gone. It might require replacement. So when you remove this, always check the condition of the bearing, and if it is worn out, you can simply replace it. You can pull it out and install a similar sized bearing. So make a thorough inspection of the bearing as well. If you have abnormal noise coming from the alternator when the engine is started, it usually indicates bearing is gone. These bearings, they have internal grease for lubrication. As they work out, the grease will be thrown out and it will become dry, and that will cause screaming noise. So always make sure that you check the condition of the bearing once the rotor has been removed from the engine as well. Rotate it, and here for any abnormal noise. This way you can check the well-being of the bearing as well. Well, dear viewers, that is all we have for you in this video. If you find this video helpful and if you enjoy what has been presented, don't forget to smash the like button. If you are new to this channel, please do consider subscribing, turn on notifications so that you will be the first to get notified whenever we come up with another video. Until then, stay safe.